I'm Brianna. Welcome back to my channel. So sorry in advance for my mini hiatus. I haven't filmed anything since October, and that was only one video. Wow. It was only one video. It was my Darker Star review. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But I've been in college. I'm a first-time freshman at Cedar Crest College, and it's just been super busy, and I haven't been able to film a lot. The videos I did film, I didn't really love 100%, and I just wasn't reading as much as I wanted to, so I felt like I didn't have content for you guys to see. So now I'm home for winter break. I'm so happy to be home, be in my own bed, play with my dog. I'm just so happy. But now I can go back to filming some videos. So this first video, I'm going to do a wrap up of the month September to November. I have not read any books in December at all. I just started Balance by Lucia Franco. I have read it already, and I wanted to read Execution, so I have started that. We'll see if I continue it, because I really do want to read the Throne of Glass series, but I don't know if I want to start from the beginning again. So what I may do is I may start from Empire of Storms and then read Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash, because I would like to read that this month. So right now I have a month off until my second semester, and I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of videos up for you guys, and I'm back in the booktube world. But yeah, so to get on to my September to November wrap up, I'm kind of too lazy to pull out my Kindle, so the Kindle books, or the books that I left at college, I'm just going to say them, say what I rated them, and then move on. So we have All the Rage by T.M. Frazier. That is a motorcycle kind of romance book, and the main character is a woman, and I give that a 4.5 out of 5. I really loved it. Personally, I recommend reading it after either Bear's books or King's books, because the way it works is there's 2 or 3 books per like main character in that series. I loved it. It was a really good read, and it was great to start off my college month. Then I also read Wilder by Rebecca Yarros, which I gave a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was okay. That book primarily focused on like college age kids, and it was about kind of a year abroad program, because with like, you know how they do semester at sea, it was like a year at sea program. It was good. It wasn't anything special, so that's why I gave it a average rating. Then I read Trick Play and Fourth and Girl by Max Monroe. Those are books 3 and 4, which are the final books of the Mavericks Tackle Love series. Trick Play I gave a 4 out of 5, and Fourth and Girl I gave a 3 out of 5. I did love it, but again, the first book set a super high standard for me, so I don't think I can like anything other than the first book. And then I read Shameless King. So there was a novella and the first book. The novella I gave a 3 out of 5, and then the first book I gave a 3 out of 5 as well. I enjoyed it. They were both hockey books. I'm having one of my friends back at college read books, because we just found out we all have similar reading tastes. We like sports romances, or just romances in general, so I'm having them read it. So I left it at college, and I'm hoping she likes it better than I did. I just had some problems with the main characters. I felt they were underdeveloped, and I don't know, it was very slow in the beginning. It was an okay average read. Then I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is like my 5th time reading that. I was again in a hockey mood, and my friend was reading it too, because I got her to read it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 again. And then I read Pucked and Pucked Up by Helena Hunting. I gave both of them I gave Pucked a 5 out of 5, and then Pucked Up a 4 out of 5. This is like the 3rd time I'm reading them. Again, hockey mood, because my friend introduced me to hockey. Like, I've never really been into hockey, and one of my best friends at college just loves it, so she introduced it to me, and now I love it, and we go to Monday night games all the time. It's like a rink super close to my school, so we go all the time, and I was just in a hockey mood, because I was actually learning the sport. I wasn't just, reading a book about it. I was like learning it, so yeah. And then I read Raise, Reap, and Ravage, which are all by Tilly Cole. I gave the first 2 a 4 out of 5, and the last one a 3 out of 5. These are her darker books. These were written before the Hades Hangman series, and it's a mafia type of book. I really love these books, and I'm having my other friend that goes to college with me. I'm having her read these books because she's into it. I love it. Again, I love Tilly Cole. She's my favorite author besides JLA, and these books were phenomenal, and just everything by her is just superb. And then we have the physical copies that I have with me. So the first one was Losing the Field by Abby Glines. This is book 4 in the Field Party series. And unfortunately, I only gave this a 3 out of 5. I was expecting so much more from this book just because the last book was phenomenal. But I love this series. It's kind of a guilty pleasure series. They're like high school football romances in Alabama. And there's just guilty pleasures. But I was very disappointed with it. I didn't really like the characters. They were underdeveloped. I just wasn't a huge fan of this book in general, so I'm hoping that the next book in this series gets a lot better than this one. Then we have Surviving Adam Mead by Shannon Clare. This was a 3 out of 5. And I did hype this up a lot, again, because it's a high school football romance, but I just didn't like this. The main characters both annoyed me, and I don't know, it just wasn't the book for me, so disappointed with this as well. Then I have, okay, so I told you this if you goes back to my videos before, but R.S. Gray has been an author that's been recommended to me so many times. She does, a lot of times she does contemporary books, but they're like romantic comedies, if that makes sense. She also has a couple sports romance books out, but this series has been recommended to me a lot. My favorite booktubers have read it and they've really enjoyed it, and that is the Summer Games series. This one is Settling the Score by R.S. Gray. This one I really, really loved. I believe I gave this a 4 out of 5. I really loved R.S. Gray's writing, and the plot in this was really good. There were some predictable points, and I think I read this at the time where the wedding was like 2 or 3, like the royal wedding was 2 or 3 months before this. So it kind of, there's a character in here that's a prince. I believe he's a prince or a duke or something like this. But there was a lot of things that were happening in the news that kind of reminded me of this book, and I just connected with it really well, and I loved that it was about sports. Andy Foster is also a Olympic soccer player, and I used to play soccer, so I just thought it was really cool, a whole bunch of connections that were happening. R.S. Gray, I will definitely read more of her books. I love her writing style. She's very funny, she can be sarcastic in her writing, and she's just a great read if you want to get out of a book slump, because I think that's perfect. Then I read the second book, and these are the only 2 books. I guess right now it's a duology, but it could be more, and that is the Summer Games Out of Bounds by R.S. Gray. I thought I would like this a lot more. This is a gymnastics and a gymnastics coach romance, so it reminded me of Balance, but I felt like Balance was just better plot-wise. This I just didn't like. I didn't like either character. I felt like there was literally nothing that happened. I did give it a 3 out of 5 because of the writing. I think the writing saved the whole plot of this book, but the plot just, nothing happened. And it just really bothered me because I was expecting a lot more, but I didn't get that. Then I have Royally Screwed by Emma Chase, which is book 1. I think there's 4 books out now, or 5 books. I have the other 2 at college with me, and I started the second one, but I just never finished it because at college, like, one of the things I've been doing is, besides work and Netflix, is I pick up a book, I start it, and then I get bored, and then I have to pick up another book. So I was kind of in a mini book slump, but it was just because I was busy and I was so active doing other things that I just didn't have time to read. But besides that explanation, this one I gave a 3.5 out of 5. I did enjoy it. It was short though, and it was just an average plot. A lot of it was kind of predictable, and it was just okay. Whoops, guys. I love dropping books in the middle of filming. Okay, so the next book I read was Dr. Strangebeard by Penny Reed. I love this book. Was just so phenomenal. I gave it a 5 out of 5, but what else can I expect from her? I really, though, like, loved this book. I honestly think this is probably one of my favorites in the series. I love all the other characters, but this one, I connected with both the girl and the guy in the book. You have Roscoe, and Roscoe from the beginning, I always wanted to know like his character and what he was about and everything, and this book just opened my mind. It kind of opened up the Winston brothers world, and I love Simone in this book because Simone is doing what I wanted to do. She is a FBI, she's not a forensic scientist, but she is part of the FBI, and she's more of the field work, and I just really loved it because there were a lot of things. Actually, no, I think she is a forensic scientist. I could go back. Give me a second. I read this again in like October, so I don't remember it. But I remember like taking a picture of a quote, so if I go back eventually. But I believe she went to grad school. And I thought it was cool because both the schools in here were FEPAC accredited, which it's a long story if you guys don't know forensic science. But she wasn't working as a forensic scientist. She was doing an undercover job because she knew like the family, because it was about Roscoe's bio dad. But I just loved this. It was so good. I connected with her because a lot of the things she was talking about I already knew. And I thought it was just really cool. And I'm definitely going to recommend this book a lot, but you can't read it because it's like book 5 or 6 of the series, so you're kind of like stuck with reading the whole series before this. But this was phenomenal. I do think this may be my favorite in the series. Then we had a tearjerker, and that's A Wish for Us by Tilly Cole. I knew I was gonna cry. I didn't realize how much. I really, really love this book. Again, it's Tilly Cole, like what else can I expect? I give this a 5 out of 5. It was just really good, and it was so different. It reminded me a little bit of a Thousand Boy Wishes. Why can't I remember that book? But that one is more of a YA book. This is definitely a new adult book. It was just an interesting read. Like, I didn't expect any of this. So basically, this guy named Cromwell Dean, he ends up coming from England to South Carolina to go to college, and he has this, like, I don't know what they called it, but he's able to see, like, music as color, if that makes sense. And, like, one of my friends at college, she actually has, like, mood music, and she names it, like, a different color, so it's kind of similar, but he is a DJ, and he originally, you find out later in the book, that he kind of lost his way. He was a classical musician, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened, and he got into DJing instead, and then there's just a lot thrown at you in this short book, and you're like, holy moly, like, I can't believe it. But this was an amazing read. I don't recommend reading it unless you're ready to cry, because I definitely cried my eyes out. I think my roommate walked in one time when I was reading it, I think, or like I was like sitting in the room with her, and then I was like bawling my eyes out, and she goes, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "No, blah blah blah." Like, I literally ranted to her about this book, and it's okay. I love my roommate though, so it's great. And then the last book I read is The Darkest Star by Jennifer Armentrout. Again, this is the ARC edition. I have a review already up of this book, but I did give it a 5 out of 5. Absolutely loved it. I will link the review down below. It is my last video, so if I post this first, you could just check out the video. Again, I'll link it so it's easier for you guys to get to. But this book was phenomenal. Jennifer Armentrout did it again, and it was just a great book. So that's all the books I've read. I read a total of 19 books, so not terrible, but that's normally the amount I read in 1 month, and this was the amount I read in 3 months in school. So actually, I mean, if you count the end of August, like 3.5 months. So I did okay. I just didn't read as much as I wanted to, and over winter break, I'm definitely reading a lot more, so stay tuned for my TBR. And that's it. I hope you guys, if you're in college, you're having a great winter break. If you're in high school, I hope you guys are excited for Christmas, because I am. And that's it. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.